I love that song, and I love that opening with Vinny on stage. Ben, we got to work on that audio because the audio was so cool when Vinny walked on stage and we surprised him with all those T-shirt stickers of his beautiful face. Hi, everybody. Ron Onesti here with Hangin' and Bangin' Artists on Lockdown. Another Thursday night and another Thursday night of rock and roll legends and icons we'll be talking to for the next hour. This is our 25th episode of the second season, which means it's about our 125th episode or so, and we're very excited to be here. So let's bring to the microphone my cohorts here. First of all, my lateral brother, a guy I've grown to love and fear, Vinny Appice. Let's bring Vinny on. And you're here, Vin.
Hey, I'm here.
Happy that you're here. You know, your chin has never looked better. I'm telling you, you've got a great chin. It's a sexy chin. Yes, it's a there it is.
I got to tell you, that wasn't me in that video. I was some imposter guy.
No, it was. I think it was Phil, but we put one of those stickers on his face.
Put the sticker on his face.
Exactly. And then why don't we bring Big Bro to the mic because
Big Bro.
Big bro. Hey, yo, big bro.
So I gotta ask you,
white hair.
Okay, with white hair. I gotta ask you. So what happened this week? It was Vinny's not on, Carmine's not on, Carmine's on, Vinny's not. What? And we're all here.
What do you mean today?
No, this week. Carmine was getting a colonoscopy.
Oh yeah, I was, but I'm not doing it no more.
You know, I do that on the side. $50, 20 minutes, you're out. I do that.
I know. I see what you mean. I'm on.
And
yeah,
you know what?
Yeah.
Just so you know,
I was supposed to be pooping my brains out tonight. So
just so you know, I do it.
On the show and run into the bathroom. I thought I'd let Vinny handle it tonight.
Well, I told you I do colonoscopies, and I'm old school, bro. I don't use a glove because I think we have that relationship. You know, I like to go.
Well,
it's only disgusting, when you pull it out. But I'm telling you,
I do colonoscopies on bass drums that are not mine. I go play them, and there's a pillow in there, a blanket, a T-shirt, all that shit. I don't like muffling, so I pull it out.
Why are we talking like this? We have a very respectable show.
Started.
I know. I actually did. He brought up colonoscopy. Wait a second. Who brings up colonoscopy? He can't even say it.
Carmine.
Colon, what's it called?
Colon. Semicolon.
Semicolon.
That's when you only do it halfway. Anyway, it's so good to see you guys. Let's say hi to some of our friends who join us every week. There's Scotty, Tony out there, Kevin Schultz. Thanks for being with us. Tommy's rocking experience. He loves Vinny. His bar is pretty freaking low. Anyway, Michael Selman.
Yeah.
Mike, Ryan, James, thanks for being with us. You guys have questions. They're coming up on my screen now. So if you want to ask us anything while it's happening, I'll try to get them in. This is a live show, our 77th episode, 25th episode on season 2. And we're still doing this thing. You believe this, guys?
No, I can't believe it.
I can't believe it.
These are the longest seasons. Usually the season's 13 episodes.
Carmine's even postponed his colonoscopy for this.
So wait. Repeat it. Wait, if we're to keep on with this bit, you got to repeat after me. Colon.
Apostrophe.
I don't know why.
Colonoscopy.
Hey, when I went to
don't let that go by. Wait, that is too good. I'm getting a colonoscopy. That to me.
When I went in a couple of years ago, the doctor asked me, I was on the table, was ready to inject the Michael Jackson stuff. He said, "Oh, so what do you do?" I said, "I play drums." He goes, "Oh, really? Who do you play for?" I said, "Black Sabbath." And he goes, "Oh, wow, this is cool." I said, "Yeah, now you could say you stuck that thing up the drummer from Black Sabbath's ass."
And how many people would love to say that?
Hey, no, I got a better one.
And then I fell asleep.
I got a better one than that. When I had a problem down there, I had this
problem down there.
Yeah, I had to bend over this thing and no knocking out. And this beautiful nurse, right? Beautiful nurse comes in and she's assisting the doctor looking at my butt. Then I met her somewhere, like at a gig or something. She goes, "Oh yeah, I was a doctor with so-and-so." I said, "Oh my God, look, this beautiful chick was just looking."
You should have said, "I recognize that finger anywhere."
Funny. Anyway, what a conversation. Move on.
Can we get to rock and roll here? Because I actually did the colonoscopy about two months ago. And we've been dating, me and the doctor, ever since. And I got to tell you, my wife has got a new appreciation for my doctor's appointments. I came home, I said, "I got a new thing I want to talk to you about." All right, anyway, we get to rock and roll.
You look shorter.
It's a colonoscopy.
I had the colonoscopy.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, guys, come on. We got some major rock and rollers. Don't know why we got on this topic, but anyway, let's get on the topic of rock and roll. We got two guys, Andrew Freeman from Evanescence and Will Hunt. I know, man. I tell you what, Will Hunt and Andrew Freeman.
That's a terrible name. That's a terrible name for a band. Colonoscopy.
Colonoscopy was my first band.
No, I love colonoscopy. I mean, that is
like colonoscopy.
You don't understand. That is what I go through each week.
But
is
you
a
see, it doesn't work with colon apiece.
No, it's colonoscopy.
Apathy, like me.
Yeah, colonoscopy.
All right, let's get our guys on here because they're sitting back there going, "What the hell do we get ourselves into?" From Evanescence, Will Hunt. From Last in Line, Andrew Freeman. Let's get them both on. Our guys. Hey, Will.
Yeah.
Hey, Will.
Guys. First of all, Will, Andrew. On behalf of these two guys, I want to apologize to you that you had to go through this for 6 minutes.
I just made my appointment today, as a matter of fact, for my colonoscopy.
You did?
Colonoscopy.
Serious?
I did.
Everyone's got to call it a colonoscopy from now on.
I tell you, I
need a colonoscopy. A what?
I need a what?
Carmine, here's the thing. I'm thinking you don't know what it is because you're so proud of that. To say that
let's call it a
colonoscopy.
I know. I definitely know what it is.
Well, anyway, Will, so good to see you guys.
The picture we put up of Will was really cool. He had long hair. Did you cut the hair off?
No, it's just pulled back.
I just pulled back. Okay.
Yeah. I was surfing earlier today, and I didn't have time to fix my locks. So
where are you at, Will? You're in California?
No, I live in Orlando. So I'm surfing over in New Smyrna Beach, about 45 minutes from here. And so I look like Spicoli with my hair down right now. That wasn't a good look.
Spicoli. Well, that's awesome. I was just talking to Andrew before he got on here, and I'm surfing 2 feet of snow here in Chicago. So I'm pretty bad for you.
Yeah, you have fun with that.
It's impossible to have fun with that.
You tell him, Will. You tell him.
Yeah, we figured it out, right, Carmine? We figured this out.
Right,
we know where to be.
It's been cold down here, though.
Andy and I don't have snow either, so come on.
It's just cold. It's not. It's no snow, but it's cold. Yeah,
it's
I'm
cold
not complaining.
Florida.
I heard what Ron said. I'm not complaining at all. I'd rather have this than that. So, yeah.
It's terrible, man. It's terrible. Hey, Will, I got to ask you. I mean, I look at your pedigree. I look at the bands that you've played for. It's freaking ridiculously amazing. Who you've played for, who you've been a part of, whether it's been live touring, whether it's been on the band with the band recording.
Who are you talking to? Me? Are you talking to me?
No. You're not important right now. You're not important. Black Sabbath.
Sorry, Will.
What is that band? Last in Sabbath or something? I don't even know what it is. Anyway, But well, let me ask you a question. Evanescence has obviously got just a tremendous theatrical element to it. I love watching the band as much as I love listening to it. You're back there and you're watching Amy, and this is all happening. Has there been a point, a specific song, a specific show that you're watching it? I mean, besides all the time, but you're watching going, wow, this is an amazing theatrical rock and roll moment.
Well, on this tour that we just did, yeah, like it's the biggest production that we've ever had. So it was a pretty surreal thing. What's weird about it, though, and I'm sure we can all relate to this, is that when you're up there and you're playing with all this stuff going on around you, you don't really notice it because you're not out front watching it. You're up there doing your thing. So as far as I'm concerned, it's just us in a warehouse making noise, doing the same thing. Yeah. But like I got into this business because of the theatrical aspect. I grew up loving, Kiss and Alice Cooper and stuff like that. So with us, I think, our music lends itself to some theatrical moments for sure. But I don't know if there's one particular one other than just to say that this whole tour has just been incredible having that kind of production,
Yeah, I tell you what.
Then when you see a video of the show, you go, "Wow, I didn't know that was happening."
Yeah, well, exactly.
And while you're back,
exactly,
right?
Exactly.
Wow,
like,
it looked pretty good.
This is
Has that happened to you at all, Vinny? Vinny, has that happened with you, especially in the Sabbath days?
Yeah, I don't see anything. I see everybody's ass. Speaking of colonoscopy,
exactly.
We're back there. We're back.
Exactly.
Andrew, again, you're another guy that's played with a bunch of bands, and you guys, it's just amazing to me how you guys can do that, because you're sitting back there and you're learning all this material, and you're learning styles, even more so than the material. You're learning styles, you're learning a certain pace and tempo and all that stuff. One band, you got to go to another band, and that could be almost completely different. How difficult, Andrew? You were a Lynch Mob, you were George, you were doing some of these other things, and you're going even with the Last in Line guys. How much of that? I guess I'll ask both of you. When you go from band to band, how much of that is a challenge as opposed to just following the basics of drumming?
I don't know if it's. I guess when you first start, you get a little more. You're a little more into it. But now you kind of find your ways to cheat and. If you're going from one gig to the next and you got 3 days to get there, throwing a chart together is a little easier, because you may, I'm sure everybody's got their unorthodox charts that they make. They're not, that nobody else could probably read. I keep a teleprompter. I have a little teleprompter that I use sometimes too with a foot switcher. So it's helpful, and it's helpful if with the bands that I play with, I kind of know all the songs already. You've heard them on the radio forever.
What about like when you do rock vault, where you're singing a lot of different styles, right? I mean, I saw you in rock vault with Paul Sortino, and it's hard. Yeah. You're singing different songs, different styles. It is.
I guess I've always been a good imitator. You know what I mean? I can imitate pretty well. And you just kind of, the same thing as drumming and playing guitar. You try to emulate exactly what the instrument's doing, and for singers, I guess it's kind of like a Rich Little, like impressionist sort of thing,
Good analogy.
Yeah, you're trying to get that tone, that one tonality, just like trying to get the right amp or the right snare drum for the job or whatever. It's just trying to get the right tonality for that gig and try to make it as close to the original as possible, but also for me, I get a little bored with that. I kind of I want to make it like I want to hear it, but I also want to make it my thing as well.
Stretch out a little bit.
You gotta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta do that.
Sure. We, on a different level, me and Vinny were talking about that today. We're working on a new song for our Peace Brothers' next album, and
Apathy.
I sent him the track with 2 sets of drums, and then he played to one of them. And then when he sent it back to me, I didn't listen to my original. I just started playing other things because I never play everything the same.
Yeah, right.
There's a reason why you do that though, Carm. You said that last week. You because when you make a mistake, you just play it again.
Yeah, you play it again when you make a mistake.
But that's
jazz, man. That's just jazz.
Yeah, it's jazz. We're trying to match the fills. And when he sent me his thing, I listened to the fill, and then I just punch in the fill to match his. Then the next one, I'll match that one too. I don't play the whole songs. I said you need to really just punch in the fills,
Yes,
because otherwise it gets a little, mumbly jumbly.
Yeah.
And
I just did that. I mean, but I did
got to
that.
cheat a little
All
bit.
The fills are in, but there's a few fills that that I did that work with his fill, But like as I said last week, I have a problem whenever I cut something and I have to do a video. I always
me
play
too.
it
I
different, and and I don't play the same fill. And when I'm playing
I'm glad
on
to
the
hear you
video,
guys say that. I'm really glad to hear
Did
you
you
guys
do
say that,
that?
because absolutely,
right?
man. I mean, there's some guys that I know that are just like programmed, and they can play the
Yeah.
same thing over and over and over again.
Yep.
And the only thing that I play the same over again is the basic beat of the song. But when it comes to
that's
fills and things like that, I'm a really in the moment guy, and
Me
I've
too.
always kind of
We-
sat back on like, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Because I mean, sometimes it's like, hey, do that again. I'm like, what? And I don't know.
right.
You don't remember it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard.
Well,
I guess
funny
people
when you're
don't
doing
a lot.
Hold on, but it's funny when you're doing a video and you do the fill and you hear it go by. Say, oh man, I missed it. So
Exactly.
in the same place, I do that fill, so the editor could move it to where it goes.
Exactly. You got to go back and you got to study to do videos. Now you got to go back and study the song. You're like, and then sometimes it's like, what the hell was I thinking? What is that? Pretty funny.
We had.
It's interesting you guys say that. Go ahead, Andrew.
So we had a video
Yes,
we
Andrew.
did with Last in Line, and Vinny did this backwards fill. Remember that landslide? It's like it's not down the toms, it's up the toms.
It's going up, back up. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think he punched it where he did two over top of each other. I don't.
Oh,
remember,
that was straight through the heart.
Oh, I wasn't there for that. I was in preschool. So
no, I know. We did it again on the other album. That's right.
Yeah, but he did it on Landslide, and I said, "Oh, when you're shooting the video, I was like,
well,
I want to see how you're going to do this."
If you were in preschool,
you see, I forgot I did that.
When you were, I was swimming in my dad's balls. That's where I was.
Did he have a colonoscopy?
In New Smyrna Beach, I was surfing in there.
There you go.
Well,
hey, Will, do you ever make cheat sheets for something and put it on the floor? And
Absolutely. Like if the time that I've filled in for a couple different things where it's been less than 24 hours to try to learn, 18 songs. And, they're like both times or a few times that happened, I had some familiarity with it, like with Motley or with Static X or whatever. But then there's, some deeper cuts that you start looking at. You're like, I don't know this, and I have to.
Sometimes I look at them, I go, what the heck? Where am I? Where did I write? What is that? Spend more time thinking of what the hell it is.
It's more confusing. And like, what does that even mean?
Andrew does my charts when we just finished recording, and he made this. He got a Home Depot box, cut it open, so it was like 4 feet tall, and he wrote all the verse, chorus, stop.
And I just held it, and I'm like conducting him. I'm like, hold on a second. And
that's a friend. That is a friend.
We wrote like 7 songs. We wrote 7 songs in like, I don't even know what 5 days, 4 days or something like that.
My mind
we wrote them and tracked them in 4 days. So.
What a trip,
friend right there.
But where did you track them? That's the fun thing, right?
We tracked them in Vegas
at the Count. In the Count.
Oh yeah, Count's place.
Yeah, Counting Cars. The Count. That's on TV.
The Count. Yeah, man.
He's got a nice studio. What's it called? River Moon Studios.
Desert Moon Studio.
Desert Moon.
Count.
No wonder I was in the wrong studio.
That's what happened. Yeah, that's why you're playing the fills.
River Moon.
Well, that's interesting from a fan perspective. You talk about, we all know the songs, but the fact that the fills and there's certain elements of these songs that can change from show to show, and the real fans, that's an interesting perspective from the fans. I'll tell you what, I've been a fan forever. I'm gonna be watching the drummers a little bit closer next time, especially the Last in Line show.
No, I don't watch them. That drummer's not very good.
He's okay.
If you ever want to like entertain yourself a little bit, this is what you need to do. Go to a Rush tribute show, right?
All right.
And there's always like 5 dudes sitting in the front row that
air drumming.
that are clearly single, and they're like air drumming every little thing, man, like every little thing. And then as soon as this guy's up there, I just witnessed this. This guy's up there crushing it, like killing these Neil Peart parts, and just it's incredible. This guy's like, man, this guy's really good. And he just missed one little thing, and they all looked at each other like, yeah, you see, he missed it.
Oh my God.
I'm saying from a fan
idiots,
perspective, these guys,
like,
from a fan
don't you have
perspective,
something better to do? It's like there's got to be something better to do.
Nope, Russia's
Oh,
there.
no,
Like,
those
like,
guys
it really
are-
must have been, you know, I don't get that, you know, that musicians play the same exact thing every night.
That's not fun. That's
Whether
not
it's
fun.
the original band or the tribute band, God, that must be so boring.
Exactly.
Well, but you know, I had a conversation with you know, we do some national touring tributes out here, and you know, you got to really respect them because they do that. They have to do it. Excuse me. They have to do it note by note because exactly what you guys just said. There are those guys that are watching, and as soon as you're off a word, a note, anything, they're pointing at it like you suck. You suck. I mean. That's really a testament. Yeah, well, you know, that's a testament to these tribute acts. I have a lot of respect for them because
It
they
depends on the band too. Depends on what tribute it is. Like my Rod tribute, we play the Rod songs with a guy that looks like Rod with the band that played the songs. But even in that
that's
band, we
different.
never played. We never, even in the Rod band, we never played it the same every
But that's
night.
the thing, because you call yourself, and I never understood this, because you call yourself, Carm, a Rod tribute band, and you're really, you can't be a tribute to yourself. It's like playing in a Carmine Appice tribute band that you'd be doing. Like, I get really close to that freaking.
Vinny Appice.
No,
right.
he's
That's
talking
what I'm
about
saying. That's what I'm
his
saying.
Rod Dangerfield band.
Yeah.
I mean, I just paid tribute to myself about an hour ago when I was in the shower, so it's okay. You can do that.
No, you're not.
Come on.
You're not.
I thought there was comedy here. I thought this was comedy. This is free comedy.
Comedy coming at you.
Anything goes.
But I was saying, Carm, I wouldn't consider you a tribute
me and
band.
Vinny are a tribute band to ourselves.
Not a tribute. That's what I'm saying. You're not a. You're the band.
How does that work?
You have.
I don't know.
You have the creative license to go off. You can't. No one's going to point at you and say you're off a note or a beat or anything. But the guy is trying to be a Rod Stewart tribute band.
Yeah, I mean, trying to play mob rules like Sabbath with two drummers is pretty wild.
Yeah,
that's cool. You guys, when you guys do your drum wars, you two, are you guys ever off a note? You guys calling each other out?
Not me. He's off.
I'm always off. I'm off because I'm playing it correctly.
Oh,
Carmine plays a little more
guys.
behind the beat than I do sometimes.
I think
And
we have
then
a
sometimes
video.
I'm ahead.
We have a video of a young Carmine giving Vinny some drum lessons. I think we have.
You know,
that,
we actually stumbled on a couple of
No.
videos here. I'm so glad you brought that up, Andrew, because Ben, why don't we? This you're not going to believe this.
Oh God!
This age-old.
Now.
Oh, I got to see this.
What's going to happen now?
Hey, Vinny, you're hitting the drums too hard. You gotta swing, baby.
That's incredible.
Oh my God!
So that video is technically 74 years old. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Wow.
How'd he grow that mustache?
There weren't even videos
Well,
in those days.
Even when Carmine was younger, he had a gaff tape.
Where'd you get that? Where'd you get
The
that?
mustache.
Came out of the womb with that mustache.
I want him to open for your freaking fudge show next time.
Yeah. He will too.
All right, so who was that
I'll
young
say
man?
now I'm going to bring out my little brother Vinny.
Oh, man, we should do that. We
there
so
we go.
should do that. Yeah, we got another one here, I think.
Hey, too much sauce in the meatballs. Meatballs.
Oh my God!
I love that kid.
Man.
That's
good
great.
stuff right there.
It's good with a
Okay,
mustache.
where'd you get that? Where'd you get
That's
that?
my son. That's my son Jacob. We did that a couple of years ago. We put that on one of our DVD on. We had like a whole bunch of different
Documentary
videos
thing.
from the road and stuff. Yeah, so
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Because
That's
Vinny used to
awesome.
do
Thought you'd
that.
like
Vinny used
that.
to Vinny put the
That's
tape on. I
awesome.
remember when I jammed with Dio one night in England, and he comes up walking near the soundboard with the black gaffer tape on. So everybody's looking at me, and they're looking at him in the audience. They're looking at him when he walked out. It's pretty funny.
Andrew's son is the kid that's on the first album cover. The last in line, he's going like that.
Oh, nice.
Really?
He's a star. He's a star.
He
Awesome.
sure is.
And he
And he
plays,
plays
Awesome.
better than you.
and he plays baseball. I don't even know how to play
I don't
baseball.
know if Carmine still does this, but I remember maybe 10 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that. He used to do the thing with the sticks. He used to put the sticks together.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you bang the sticks, like do beat on the sticks. So that's what
Yeah, you mean
Yeah.
like
All right, look
still
where you
does it.
started.
I
Here
guess-
it comes.
He still does it.
yeah, there you go. That's
I just taught Nico McBrain how to do that yesterday. Right?
How did
I
you
still
get
try
him?
to
Stop
do that.
talking long
I
enough.
can't do it. I can't do it.
Nico did he's doing a TV show, And,
Yeah, well, do it. Let's hear you.
I can't do it.
Come
I'm
on.
telling you.
That's
This is what I got.
a good
That's it.
start.
That's pretty
That's
good.
a start.
Now do a paradiddle.
What's a paradiddle?
Right, left,
Come
right,
on.
left.
Okay.
It's two diddles.
And a para.
Wait, right, left, right. Okay.
Yeah, but you know what? Your left hand, bring it up and down, so it cuts the distance.
I saw you had an instructional video where you showed how to do that, and I was like, I'm gonna figure this out. And 25 years later, I still haven't figured it out. So, yeah.
There's
So
still
Nico,
hope for you,
Nico
Will.
wanted to do it. Nico wanted me to teach him, so I did it. When I learned, I was doing a single roll with it, right? And I was walking around the studio, and I was with Rod at the time. I'm walking around the studio doing this like like all day. Finally, Rod turns around and says, "You fucking stop that already!"
Stop that fucking ragged.
Okay.
then he kicked the
That's
soccer
funny.
ball at you, right?
Yeah, right. I
Right.
was afraid he was gonna do that.
Well, I got to ask you because, you got Carmine, you got Vinny, Andrew's an Italian today, and you got me. We're all Italians here. I'm looking, and, you got Stained, Static X. You play with our buddy Mark Slaughter. You got, so many, like it goes on, a dozen bands or so. And then there's Vasco Rossi on there from Italy.
Yeah, man.
How did that all happen?
Dude, I got a call from a text from this video director friend of mine out in LA, this guy Dean Carr, and he said, "Hey, there's this guy that's looking for, they need a drummer for this Italian band for the summer." And I'm thinking, call this guy Guido, and I'm thinking, okay, so I'm thinking, okay, Italian summer sweaty van, like not interested. Just put this all together in my head. So I didn't even call. So this guy hits me back like 2 days later. He's like, "Dude, I'm telling you, you got to call this guy." I'm like, "All right." So I call him. His name's not Guido. His name is Sarajevo. And so I call Sarajevo, and he's like, "Hey, do you know who Vasco Rossi is?" And I'd never heard of this guy. And I'm like, "Wait a minute, you mean Valentino Rossi, the the superbike racer?" Because I'm a superbike fan. I love that stuff. And he's like, no Valentino, Vasco. And I'm like, "Nope, never heard of him." He's like, "I want you to YouTube him and Google him right now while you're on the phone with me." So I did, and I'm like, "Oh my God, man!" And then I was just like, "Are you sure you got the right guy?"
I don't know him. What's
Like,
Vasco?
What is
Like,
it?
you sure
Singer?
you got the right guy? Like, I'm what's going on here? Because he's had, his drummers have been Dean Castronovo, Vinny Caglietta. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Caliuta.
I mean, he's just had this who's who of drummers, and then I'm like, "Are you sure you got the right guy?" They're like, "No, we got the right guy. We're looking for you." So I went over there and I did it. And funny story, because I've been meaning to ask you guys this, and I have you both in the room right now. So I have an Italian manager, and we were in the car one day, and we're driving over there, and he's speaks okay English, and he goes, he's starting to tell me the story about, Steve Lucata. And I'm like, "Steve Lucata? I don't even know who that is." He's like, "Steve Lucata." And like Lucata, I'm like, who the hell? And he starts getting mad at me because I'm like, who the hell is Steve Lucata? And he's like,
Steve
Stu
Facata.
Lucata, Toto. And I'm like, oh, you mean Steve Lukather? And he's like,
Lukather.
Lucata, he's Italian. And I'm like, I'm not
Lucata,
Italian,
yeah,
dude.
right.
Oh my God.
So then we get into the conversation about you guys, and I'm like, he's like, how you say, you know, the Appice brothers? How do you say their name? I say, you know, Carmine Appice and Vinny Appice. He's like, no, Vincenzo Appice. And I'm like, who the fuck says this? So is that right?
Ordering dinner.
Carmina Appice.
Carmine.
Carmenina Appice.
Yeah,
so is that right?
Carmina. Yeah.
Carmenina.
That's why our other brother says a peach. He says Frank a peach.
A peach.
There's three brothers with three different pronunciations. How freaking weird is that?
Oh, yeah.
So what is it? I want to hear it right now on this.
It's the people you're talking to, Will.
My father said Appice.
Appice.
And he used to be Appice.
I used to be Appice.
It's
But
documented on the live
everywhere
record.
I went before Vinny was born, every gig I played, people call me Appice. So when I joined Rod Stewart, he said, hey, dude, we got to get one way to say your name. You're Appice, you're Appice, you're a Pice, you're Peachy, you're all these different names. What do most people call you? I said, most people call me Appice, and I correct them. He said, why don't we go with that? So we did that. He said, I'm going to be playing 20,000 people a night. I want you, when you do your solo, I want to say Carmine, whatever. So we went with a piece. Then Ludwig did an ad. Everyone wants a piece of a piece. It was in every rock magazine around the world. And I was doing great for 4 years till he came out with Sabbath. And then he confused everybody. And that was 1980. And they're still confused 42 years later.
That's what I'm saying. I'm confused. And then I get this other curveball thrown at me from an Italian who's like, no, they're Italian.
You know what that's,
yes, they are.
You know what that's called, right? You know what that's called?
What?
That's called the colonoscopy.
Oh man. Full circle comedy here.
Appice.
I tell you, I'm the guy. I'm the guy with the comic relief here.
That's funny. Instead of saying we're getting screwed, you say you're getting colonoscopy.
Yeah.
We are so going to use that. We are. You know what? We should give to the worst guest. We should give the colonoscopy award.
Yeah.
We should do that.
I can picture what it looks like.
We should do that.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's that look like?
Andrew, a new song title, dude. A new song title. Last in line, colonoscopy.
I feel like it's a Brothers album title. That's a Brothers album title.
Yeah, that's right. That should be on your new album that you're talking about.
You guys in doctors' outfits, it'd be great. Masks and scrubs.
That is an album title.
I did that with Rick Derringer. It was called DNA Party Tested. And we were on the cover with doctors' outfits on.
Nobody heard that record. You got to put it on.
How did we get back to this colonoscopy subject again? Oh my God!
It's colonoscopy.
Colonoscopy.
It's so good. Forget about a song. It's an album cover. That's what it should. Album title. Guys, I'm all about it.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do it.
Ron's gonna have a new company. It's called Colonoscopy.
I'm not gonna have you do the commercial, obviously. All right, let's get back to business here, the rock and roll business.
Come on, get back to
there. I want to know about you. I got two, I finally have a last in liner on the show that I like. So I would like to. I don't know why I said that. Why did I say that?
We had Phil on the show.
You're talking about the other two guys.
Yeah, we did have Phil.
We had Phil.
But since we got the two of you on here, people want to know what's the status. How's the new album coming? What's happening with that?
I'll let Andy.
How's the new album coming? We have an EP coming out in April, May.
Yeah, so we're doing. Around there.
Yeah, so
a little problem here.
Yeah,
my studio fell.
Oh, I see that. We have 4 songs coming out on that, and that's fantastic.
Look at,
you want to fix that?
This is
great. Oh my God, what's going on with you?
What is happening in there?
I saw all of Ron's shiny clothes behind him. I think he's
look at that
bedroom
shit.
right now.
That's
I think he's in Liberace's bedroom right now.
That's what he usually wears too.
That's incredible. That is incredible.
Blooper reel.
Oh my
Blooper
god.
reel.
Oh
Wait,
my
wait.
God.
Blooper reel. Blooper reel.
Nothing to see here.
It's all fake.
Oh, don't pay attention to the clothes behind the curtain.
There's like a guy back there dancing, you know.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
really
Ian,
not- those are really not drums behind me and Vinny. You know?
No.
Which
I'm
one's really
getting freaking
behind you,
hot in here.
Carmine?
Oh my god, I'm freaking dying over here. I gotta take this off. Anyway, what the hell? Uninteresting thing we were talking about. Oh yeah, your new album. What were we talking about?
Oh yeah,
What is
this is way more. That was way more interesting than what I'm going to say.
blooper reel? Hello.
Well, so we got an EP coming out in April. And
Okay.
it's a couple of live tracks, original song, and a cover that we're doing, and then as a little pre-release before our record, which I don't till next year, 2023. So we just finished all the basic tracks.
How do you guys decide? Is it a 4 vote situation? Would you decide what the cover is?
Cover the album or the cover song?
No, I'm sorry, the cover song. Yeah, cover song.
Yeah, I think we were kicking
pretty
around
much.
the idea. Yeah, during the pandemic, we were kicking around doing something, and getting a couple of the guys to do stuff is like pulling teeth sometimes. So stuff like that. So one of them might be sitting in this room right now. So
I was the first one.
No, you were okay. You were okay.
There it is.
Because I kept
struck a
saying,
nerve.
"Hey, we should do this and we should do that and we should," because I'm just sitting here like twiddling my thumbs, you know. And but we came up with an idea to do. I can't tell you what it is yet, but we came up to do a really cool cover, and everybody agreed on it, and it came out really good. You know, we just don't.
Okay.
You know, I was in the in the space where I wanted to just do. Let's do a Thin Lizzy song. Let's do a Gary Moore song. Let's do, just start banging stuff out, for fun. Because we all had studios in our houses and we could, work remotely. So it wouldn't be hard to do. But, the problem is when you do stuff like that, when everything gets back to semi-normal, you have to live with the stuff that you did,
Well, I mean,
fun,
here's
like,
a little
cheaply,
tip. By the Dashboard Light by Meatloaf, just throwing it out there, may make sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, me and Vinny could sing the male-female part together.
I would love to.
Right? Yeah.
That's where I was going.
I'll do it.
Yeah. Do you love me forever? Yeah. It could happen.
Vinny.
I don't even know the song, but I'll do it.
Let me write that down. Let me get that.
Well, how about now? Evanescence, they took a break a while back. They came back, took a break, came back. What's the status of the Big E band right now?
Well, we put out a new record in late March of last year, and then we weren't able to actually tour for it until November of 21. And then even with that, with super strict COVID protocols and this whole thing, we got about 6 weeks into it and ended up having 14 people come down with COVID, and had to postpone. Yeah, I had to postpone the last 5 shows, which we just made up beginning of of January.
Wow.
And then we have a tour in Europe starting in mid-March, and then we go. Then we're home, and then we go back to Europe June, the first 2 weeks of June for some festival stuff, and then we got a couple festivals here in the States in July, and then we got some stuff coming up in late summer, fall, stuff like that. But it's not, nothing's written in stone yet. And in the meantime, just doing Slaughter shows, which is always a really fun, fun thing. Get back to my roots and just playing some fun music. It's not.
So how long have you been with Slaughter? Did you come after Zoltan?
No, so I got in Slaughter in 2004, I believe, was the first time I played with them.
Oh, okay.
And at that time, I was working on a band called Dark New Day with the guitar player from Seven Dust and singer, just this lineup. And we ended up getting a deal with Warner Brothers. So I played with Slaughter for about a year, and then Dark New Day got signed, and the record came out and started doing really well. So I left Slaughter and did that. And I've just been friends with those guys for a long time.
Sure.
Jeff Blando, their guitar player.
Blando,
He and
sure.
I have been really tight for shit, man, since '92.
Who's playing bass? Who plays bass now?
It's Dana Strum, same guy.
Yeah, Dana was the manager and everything for that.
We just played with them in Key West. We did a
right. I wasn't there because I was on those makeup dates.
It was some new drummer that never played with them before.
He played with them. He played with them. He did starting in November. He did some shows with them, and he and I.
We heard they didn't play with him.
He's a friend of mine, and I basically just sent him videos, and I just taught him everything that I'm doing. And Jordan Kanata, he's an incredible drummer, man. He's really, really good dude. So, but now I'm able to go back and do that, and I'm stoked, man. I like playing with those guys. They're good friends, and it's a good hang, and we have a good time.
Yeah,
that's great, Andrew. Your Devil's. I'm interested to hear about your Devil's Ham project.
Well, here.
Well, I mean, I was watching some of the video, and I mean, it's very cool. I mean, what's the status? I mean, you're really blowing it out because the video's awesome. I love how it comes. The words come up and makes the meaning of the song even more like underscored the way you shot that video.
Yeah, that was a weird project, honestly. It was myself and this guy Mike Slammer. I think that's how you say his name, Mike Slammer. I think he produced one of Vinny's records too. He did World War III or something.
He did World War III. Yeah, he was good too.
Yeah,
really good.
He's a fantastic guitar player. And his name's Mike Slammer.
Mike Slammer.
And he played on all the. He was like Bo Hill's guy, I think, for a while, and he was played all the guitar solos on the Warrant records, the first and second Warrant record, I think. So.
Oh, really? Wow.
Just an incredible guitar player, yeah. And it was a really commercial record. Some cool songs on there. It was just not. It was not kind of my cup of tea. I'm not that commercial of a. I don't like getting that commercial. I like doing heavier stuff, but gave it a shot, and it was cool. I don't think we're doing anything else with it. They asked me to do another one without Mike, and I said, nah, I didn't really want to do it. So, but it was nice to try. It was a cool thing. There was some weird stuff on there where I got a mix back of something, and there's some other guy singing a part on the record, and I go, who's that? So there's some sort of vamping thing from the chorus between the chorus and the second verse. Somebody's like, ooh, like. Who the fuck is that? Like it's minded his name on the record, and oh yeah, sorry about that. Like, sorry about that. So it's just weird stuff like that. But I know I'm probably going to get a hate email from the label, but it was not something I was really.
Well, you're promoting it. I mean,
promoting
it. I mean,
it's a cool record if you're, it's definitely a commercial thing, and I thought, it'd be kind of cool because of our connection with Leopard, with Def Leppard, that, if I did something like that, maybe that, that audience would be into it. And I never did anything that commercial before. So it's a very 80s, Journey sounding record. So, but yeah, I think some people dig it. I don't really listen. I haven't really heard it or talked about it in a while.
I thought it was good. I mean, I really did.
I'm glad you liked it. Man. Thank you.
It's your vocal
when did
range.
It come out? When was it out? When did it come out?
2018, like December, and that's the other thing. It came out a month or 2 months before the Last in Line second record, so it was kind of a weird.
Yeah, well, that I could see that, but it really showcased your range. I mean, it was a really good song. I thought I really did.
Thanks, man.
Will,
thanks.
No, and talking about some things, a little bit past here. Give us a little insight on Tempest, because we don't hear a lot about Tempest these days, and it was a great band, man.
Well, I mean, it was just a COVID thing. Like, we were bored and sitting at home and friends with those guys. I actually never met the other three guys that did it, but I knew who they were. And we just put it together as something to, like, basically just, make some music together when nothing else was happening. And we did it, and did 2 covers, and they came out. And once we got it back from being mixed, we're like, man, this is really good. Like, I guess we kind of need to give ourselves a name. And we gave it a name, and then a label came by and said, "Hey, we want to work this," and they started working it. Next thing you know, it's charting, and it's a freaking cover, And so I think what's going to happen next with that is that we're probably going to work on some original material. The two guitar players and the bass player in a band called Bad Wolves, and they are they're about to start touring on their album. And once they kind of get into that mode, they're going to start sending riffs and stuff to me, and we'll just start, piecing together some material.
Is that guy's name Doc, the guitar player?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Doc.
Yeah.
Doc, Chris, and Kyle. Yeah.
He was
that was a cool
Forbid
project
too, right? Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Wasn't he in another band called God Forbid years ago?
He was. Yeah, all those guys have kind of been in other projects. Like the other guitar player, Chris, was in a band called Bury Your Dead.
Yep.
Yeah. So it was fun. Those guys are really talented, and I think we're gonna, we're gonna keep moving with this. So there's definitely something there. I don't know how much time we all have, but I'm down. I'm always down.
Yeah. Hey guys, we got a very special show next week. I brought up Meatloaf earlier, and it's a special salute to Meatloaf, and we got a little commercial. I think Vinny did this one, or Carmine did this.
No, I didn't do it.
Carmine did it. Okay, let's check out what's happening next week.
You guys, we can never get you guys to do anything.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Come on a piece here for Hangin' and Bangin', February 10th. We have a tribute to Meatloaf with Todd Rundgren, Carla DeVito, Ellen Foley, Bruce Kulick, and Kazim Sultan, myself, my brother Vinny, Ron and Esty. That's February 10th. That's on Artists on Lockdown on Facebook. Come on a Piece official Facebook. It's also on YouTube on Hangin' and Bangin'. So we'll see you there, February 10th, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, and 4 o'clock over there on the West Coast. We'll see you there, okay? Ciao.
Yeah, so that was nice. You're getting better at this, man. You got a future in this business. I swear.
You call that a commercial? Come on.
Hey, Will, you see those bass drums?
I do, man. I was admiring those bass drums.
1971 Ludwig 24
I gotta
by
go get
15
some.
Cactus bass drums. I use those.
Those are ridiculous. How do they sound? I mean, they sound incredible, right?
Ridiculous.
What are they? 2418.
2415.
Wow,
15. Back in those days, bass drums were 14-inch. So I had Ludwig make me 15s. It was bigger. So I had the 26 by 14s, but the pedal was speaking, never hit in the middle. So I said, let's take the skin down, the head size down, and extend the wood. So they started doing 15s. Then they said, we're going to make 16s. It's easier. And then they started 16s, and they started adding power toms from those drums.
Yeah.
But those
How many records have those kick drums been on? How many records?
A lot of records.
Throw me one big song that those have been on.
Do you think I'm sexy?
Ooh, those are the kicks.
That's
Hot
big.
Legs.
That's big,
man.
Passion.
Hot Legs.
Hot Legs.
The drum sounds. I'd just like to say that both of you guys, you're brothers, and it's very interesting for me as a drummer to listen to you guys. And you both have your very unique sounds, which is really hard to do as a drummer. And the thing that I find really incredible about you guys, both of you, is that even though you're related, it's like you're totally, it's different, but just so awesome and live. And Vinny, your drums are one way and just they're both bombastic, but just in a different way. I love it, man. I love you. I love you guys. This is an honor for me to be on here.
Thank you, Will.
Huge
Will, you got to
fan,
see. Well,
and I love the E-Band. I love the
me too.
albums. It's amazing. Love it.
The drum wars thing, Will. You got to see the drummers when they're both on stage together. It's one of the most incredible things you'll ever see.
We try to kick.
I hear somebody's talking to you about us.
100%. Yeah. What the? Yeah. Yeah. Right? I mean, you go from agent to agent. That's kind of funny.
They told me today.
I mean, it's really funny. On a weekly basis, I get someone pitching you to me. Yeah, I know. But you know what? I want to bring something up. Vinny, Andrew, I want to bring something up. Actually, Vin, you weren't on the show last week.
Who was on the show?
No, you weren't, is the point. And I wanted,
who was it? Was it Gabby from?
No, it was from Liliac. She was the drummer, bass player. What was her name?
Abigail. Yeah.
Abigail, Joe Vitale, 2 drummers.
amazing. It was a great show. But what I wanted to, I was disappointed. Besides just genuinely missing you, Ben.
Oh yeah. Andy
um,
misses me too when I leave. Too,
I
but-
miss it. Yeah, you know what? I called Vinny on Monday and he didn't call me back, so I don't know what
a
You
prick.
did?
Oh, what's new about
Yeah,
that?
call me back.
Yeah, right.
What's new about
Ask
that, Andy?
Carmine.
Here,
Hey,
I
You need
look,
to
I
call
was just-
Vinny, and you don't call you back. Call me. I'll call you back.
hang
You
on.
gotta
I
call
want to touch
Leslie.
on. Hang on.
I'm going to call Will from now on too. I like Will.
Oh my God. Am I going to bring
Give
up
me a
my
shout, man.
colonoscopy?
Will's a
I
good
Give me a
wanted-
guy.
shout, man.
Get a hose. You need to get a hose.
Hey, Will, you got a hi hat. I was watching your video. Your hi hat's all the way up here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Ty.
was like, holy
Well,
shit!
it's these arms, dude. I can literally itch my knees without bending over.
Wow.
I got these.
Watch
just-
the rotator cuff. Watch the
Spider
rotator
monkey.
cuff, dude. We
Yeah,
both had-
well, that's what I'm
I
dealing
had
with
both
now.
of
But
mine done.
We both had surgery on. He had 2 surgeries. I had one
I
on
had
this
both. She had
shoulder
one.
from going up
And
here.
mine,
all that
mine got me right on stage. I was with Michael Schenker on an American tour, and I went like I had the 2 Chinas up here. I used to love the 2 Chinas doing stuff
Yeah.
like this, you know. And I went
Yeah.
like bam, I went like that, and all of a sudden I got the unbelievable pain in my arm, like straight down my. I brought it down, and it was stuck there. I couldn't move it. I couldn't.
I don't
move it.
mean to laugh, but
And I'm
it's
playing,
not a good
and I'm
thing.
playing, and I'm thinking my solo's coming up. So I'm trying to get a
Yeah,
hold
you
of
get
Michael
through that.
Schenker. Did you ever see Michael play? This is Michael playing.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
exactly.
get his attention.
Exactly.
I did the worst drum solo I ever did in my life.
Oh.
I had my arm resting on my stomach, and when I wanted to hit the tom, I moved my whole body up like that to hit the tom and then back.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Awful, awful.
Ah, man, drummer
So
problems.
watch
That's all
that,
right.
Drummer
watch that hi
problems.
hat, bro.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it's you know what it is. It's just for me, it's actually comfortable. You know, it feels right. Like even in here right now with my electronic kit, it's high. You know,
Pretty high,
so
pretty high.
I just
Did you do that
it's
since you
just
were
how
a
I've
kid?
done it.
Since you were a kid?
Yeah, I never played. I mean, as far as back as I can remember, that's just where it wound up. You know, and I've seen obviously guys play it real close to the
It
snare
takes
and play
about
it up or
40
down.
me.
years. It takes 40
Yeah.
years.
Well, I'm coming up on that. Well, actually, yeah, I'm actually 45
Okay, well,
years.
be
now, but
careful.
yeah, I'm trying. You know, I just had
So
this
what I-
conversation with Ray Luzier. He just mentioned this because he just had surgery on his
Oh, yes.
And you're not
shoulder?
supposed to.
elbow.
You're not
I
supposed
love
to
Ray.
sleep like this either. Like on
That's
your
another
arm.
thing.
Yeah.
That's
You're not
right.
supposed. The doctor said that's real, and I do it all the time. And I go,
I do it all the time too.
Yep. And
See,
you
I
feel
did,
it.
funny
I did
thing,
it, but I
Carmine.
did it first. See, I did it first. and he-
No, I was.
You did everything first.
I was the original.
Oh,
And that one.
Carmine, you did everything first. You played Lincoln's inauguration, for Christ's sake.
I did. Hey, I got some drumsticks from that era. Somebody
I
gave me
bet.
drumsticks
I
from that
bet.
era.
Personally, you
That's
got him.
incredible.
But Ray,
Hey.
talk about Ray Luzier, man. I love him. He's what a great
Yeah,
drummer.
he's a monster.
Oh
monster.
man, he's incredible, man. Incredible dude, just incredible drummer, man. Now, he's a
Yeah,
guy
beautiful
but his
man.
hi hat's low, man. His hi hats, he
Yeah.
sits
Mine is
really
too.
high. Like he's sitting on a bar stool. He sits so high, but his
Oh,
hi hat
okay,
and his snare are real close to each other. You know, I don't
Yeah.
know. Every time I ever tried to lower the hi hat down, I just always rack my knuckles with my sticks, and it's just like,
Oh.
nope, that's going back up.
Ouch.
You know,
Yeah. You know, I didn't want to
Which
talk
we've
about
all
something
done.
like. Yeah, absolutely. I brought this. I started talking about this a little bit earlier about Vinny last week because it's a little, it's a little bittersweet kind of recollection. But I want to talk about Jimmy Bain because it was the 6th anniversary
Yeah.
last week, and you, like I said, you weren't on the show, and I want to bring it up, but I do want to bring it up for a minute now because obviously, just so missed, and what a musical genius, and but the circumstances of his passing were so freaking weird, and I'd like to just kind of walk us through it a little bit because you look at, if you Wikipedia him or something, he's got, he was born the year and the place, and it says died Atlantic Ocean.
Oh, it does?
It does. Look it
Wow.
up. It's so freaking
Wow.
weird.
Technically, it was the Caribbean, so it was the Gulf of Mexico.
Let's get
wasn't it? Or no, maybe
Wikipedia
it was.
straight
No.
now, but it's
Yeah.
it's just weird.
I think
Wow.
it was the Bermuda Triangle. Probably.
Well, that would make sense. That would
Knowing
make sense.
knowing him, it probably was.
Yeah.
story. I mean, so
The weird thing with that, the whole weird thing with that, we were on the cruise with Def Leppard, and we were scheduled to play Sunday, and we played Thursday, the party before the cruise leaves, and Jimmy wasn't feeling good at all, and so he went to his cabin. We said, "Look, we'll take care of you. You know, they got kind of like a butler, and you can get sandwiches and whatever you want, and then we'll play Sunday." So okay, fine, and then Saturday night, Def Leppard's supposed to play, and we're in the bar hanging out, and some girl comes down screaming, crying, and for some reason, I knew what happened. I know
Really?
this is the day. Yeah, she came, Jimmy's game. He's sick. He's not moving. I know that's it. I knew this was going to happen.
Really?
And I went up to the cabin, and I saw him. You know, and cool thing with Jimmy was he just died, but he was all decked out. He had his velvet pants on. He had his chains on. He had his cool shirt. His hair was good. I went, there you go, man. You know, he's such a rock star, you know. And so that happened. And in the same night, Def Leppard were going on, but Joe Elliott lost his voice. And he couldn't sing the whole set. So Andrew sang with Def Leppard.
Wow.
And it was just a crazy night, you know. Jimmy passed away. Joe lost his voice. Everybody, you know, Def Leppard knew about it. We knew about it. Viv was really saddened, you know.
Sure.
Because Jimmy brought Viv into Dio when we started.
Oh, wow.
And, so it was crazy, you know.
How about for you, Andy?
Heavy, man.
Who?
How about for you, Andy? How did that night, that whole thing? I mean, what was going through your head? What was happening? Did it even hit you guys? You know, like as it happened? It seemed like so much was going on.
I was the one who found him, so I was next. I was in the room next door to him. So and he was sick, and we thought he had pneumonia, and you know, he said he was over, and you know, so I was sending stuff to his room because he wasn't eating, so I was sending some sandwiches and some food and whatever, and you know, my girlfriend and I came back from dinner, and the butler guy on the floor, because we were up in the VIP area, he said, "Hey, your friend hasn't been responding." He said, "Can you go in and take a look?" I'm like, "Why can't you go in and take a look?"
Right.
What the fuck am I gonna do? So yeah, I went in, and he was, you know, I checked his pulse, and he was gone, and it was and just like Vinny said, you know, he was
that has to be unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Because you know what? It was lung
that has to be unbelievable.
It was lung cancer. We found out later. And 2 days before, when we got on the ship, he's outside smoking a cigarette outside.
Oh yeah!
Hotel.
Wow!
Oh,
yeah.
You know?
He
So
probably
he
just gave up at that point.
He wasn't one to go, all right, I'm going to get chemo. I'm going to waste away in the bed in the hospital. And it was just
he wanted to
rocked out, man. He just went to the end. He's smoking a cigarette.
And that was the
crazy rock and roll cruise. I mean,
on a rock
that was
cruise.
The crazy thing about it was that, you know, we played the Thursday night, and he died on Saturday, and he was on, you know, playing with us and singing background vocals, like, you know, it was slow, you know, but he was actually singing with, you know, stage 4 cancer, you know, lung cancer. So it was
wow.
Did
he know that he had cancer?
Tim Bogan
had
that.
Yeah, he did.
He did know.
Tim Bogan had that, but he died the other way. Tim died, you know, he did the chemo, he did everything. He died in his house, you know, after 2 years of suffering.
Who's that?
I mean, he was
Tim
a trooper.
Tim Bogan.
Oh,
Tim
Tim.
Bogan. Yeah. He was a trooper.
No, that's crazy.
Tried to, you know, we told him we'd cancel the show, and he was like, "No, I want to go." So we're like, "Okay." So we went.
He probably knew it, man.
Yeah, I think
he knew it.
I think he knew.
But that's why it's so weird, because, you know, it happens to us in our lives. Sometimes we're part of that process, a friend, a worker, whatever, part of that death thing. But we get to go home. We get to see our family, get to grieve, get to do this.
Yeah.
You guys are freaking stuck on a boat, and you have to perform. And Andy, you get thrown into another curveball where you got to get. By the way, I need you to, you know,
that's like your earlier question about what do you do when that happens. You know, they hand you a set list, and they go, "What do you know?" And I look at them, I go, "What do you know?"
Was there a teleprompter on this? Did you have a
Nope.
Did you have a teleprompter?
No, he knew every song they knew. Yeah. He probably knew more songs than they know.
That's why, because Phil handed me the set list, and he asked me what I knew, and I was like, "Hey man, I've been listening to these guys longer than you have." So yeah,
That's awesome. That's freaking cool.
That's a
But
great
It was
then
a
story.
weird day.
we spent the rest of the time trying to figure out what do we do tomorrow. We're supposed to play, 2,000 people in that place, the room, and Eddie Trunk was there. So we did a tribute.
Oh,
We
Eddie,
had
yeah.
Jimmy's bass and Viv's guitar, and the three of us went out and talked stories about Jimmy, and we did videos, and everybody loved it. It was really cool. We had a tribute to Jimmy.
It wasn't a bad
awesome.
place for it to happen, because I mean, if you're gonna die somewhere and you're in rock and roll, it's better to be somewhere where you're stuck with all your fans and they're gonna, be able to have we had a nice little ceremony for him in the theater. It's something that we probably wouldn't have been able to do, back home. So
it's just an incredible story, an incredible happening, and an incredible way you guys handle it. Like, you just stepped up. There had to be a moment when three of you looked at each other and like, well, you know what? Let's do this for him, and let's just go on.
we looked at each other. We're like, should we jump off?
I know, right? I believe that.
There's some boats on the side. Should we get one of those little boats and just get out of here?
Are you a good swimmer? Let's go. Then we did play Sunday. We played outside and the wind was blowing like crazy. Who was the bass player? Eric?
Eric from Brightingham from Cinderella was a bass player.
Cinderella. He learned like 5 songs overnight, talking about learning songs. And then he played with us, and we played, and people dug it.
I mean,
here's
a lot
the Jimmy
of
Bain.
The thing with Eric, and me with Leopard, it's like these are the songs of our youth. You know what I mean? These are things that we used to listen to. I mean, Will could probably attest to this too. It's like this is our youth. So when he steps into a Slaughter gig, or any of those type of bands, it's kind of second nature because you've listened when you were 16, you were listening to that tape, over and over and over and over again, or it was on the radio or on MTV or whatever. So it's kind of part of your DNA in a sense, So
you were drumming those songs
like,
on the dashboard at a stoplight.
Exactly.
Already,
absolutely.
Right?
Exactly.
I don't know, Vinny. When you were 16, did you listen to Slaughter?
They weren't out yet.
No.
No, me too.
It was the same thing for me with Molly, though.
When I was 16, I was listening to Buddy Rich and Joe Morello. And
that's what he listened to, Buddy Rich, right?
Little Richard and Little Richard and the
I was listening to you and
I thought he listened to you.
Hendrix.
That's right. We all listen to you, Carmine.
And I was listening to you guys.
And from this show, we found out one thing. If there's only one thing that's been consistent with this show, is that everybody listened to you, Carmine. Everybody.
Well, you better listen to me now when I tell you.
You're going to school.
Watch the rotator cuff.
It's nice.
Watch the rotator cuff.
Somebody told me that they were reading an article on Phil Collins. They said that I was his inspiration, back in the 60s. And I thought it was Vanilla Fudge because when we played the Atlantic 40th anniversary at Madison Square Garden with Vanilla Fudge, we played the show and we walk off the stage and Phil Collins is back there. And he said, shook my hand, gave me a hug. He said, man, you don't know how you guys influenced me. And I go, wow, how cool.
Actually, Ted Nugent on his show said that today about you, Carmine. On Ted Nugent's show, he was on some show today and he credited you with being one of his influences. Today he did that.
Wow.
So here we salute you, Carmine. Of course, the drum monster. We salute Jimmy Bain tonight too. Give him a big tip of the hat. And we also salute Will and Andy for being with us today. Thank you so much, man. This hour flew by.
I have a question for everybody before you say goodbye. Has everybody heard this Kid Rock song?
Which one?
New Kid Rock song?
Yeah.
Will, you heard it, right?
Oh yeah.
He's not playing the people with masks on. God bless him.
Yeah. It's really, really wild.
Anyway,
continue.
Well, we're not going to continue. We're going to finish. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us this week.
Whoa.
We will see you
it's
guys
over.
on stage.
Shut your mouth.
Anyway, we want to thank everybody, as always, each week, whether it's 4 o'clock on the West Coast, 6 o'clock here in the Midwest, or 7 o'clock on the East Coast. Hanging and Bangin' artists on lockdown every Thursday. Want to thank everybody who makes this or is a part of this production because it's a big team here. Besides Carmine, Vinny, and humbly myself, Steve Love, who put this whole idea together. Gwen, the two Bills, Peter rather. Thank you for doing all the work. Ben, of course, all the work you guys do. Steph, to make this happen each week. Make sure you check out us on Spotify, on iHeartRadio. We've got the stuff going on, of course, our podcast. Anyway, each week we're here, Artists on Lockdown, hanging and banging with some of the biggest stars in rock and roll. Until next week, stay warm, stay safe, keep on rocking. We'll see you next Thursday.